What time is it? TaWyana time. TaWyana. TaWyana. Hi guys, I am back with another video, and oh my goodness, it has been so long since I have been in front of the camera. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm kind of shy. I am back with another soap related video. I have been requested to make a video showing how to use the results from the last video, which was getting the volume of your container. So yeah, how to use those results to make a recipe. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. But before we jump into this video, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. Hit that like button. That's the same thing. I said I haven't done a video in a while, guys. I haven't done it in a while. But anyway, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell so that you're notified the next time I post a video. I'm going to try to post videos more often. That's a whole nother video that I will make. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the purpose of this video. Let's go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. Whenever you are making soap, whenever you're coming up with a soap recipe, first things first, to me, I think the most important part is coming up with your oils. You need to figure out the oils that you want to use in your soap. I recommend you doing your research. I always say, I've been saying that in all my videos, do your research. Definitely do your research. I recommend you do your research first. Figure out the oils that you want to use, the oils that have properties in them that you feel like will be beneficial to you or your customers or whatever you're making soap for, and then go from there. So what I love about the Soap Queen is the fact that she has so many things broken down for you as far as soap making. So one of the first things that I came across when I first thought about making soap was this free beginner's guide to soap making, common soap making oils, and I'll leave the link to this in the description box down below. But basically on this, she lists a plethora of different oils and their properties and how much you can use within a soap recipe. Like, she gives those suggestions and she lets you know like how the soap acts. She also has another like article like this where it shows her how she's made the soap with a specific oil and what the soap looks like and the properties of the soap or whatever. This site right here is what I used to determine the kind of oils that I was going to use in my soap, the oils and butters. Let's go look at an oil. Let's say castor oil. So castor oil, she gives the properties of it, lets you know that it's thick, blah, blah, blah. And then they recommend that you use at 2 to 5%. Now it can be used up to 25%, but anything more than 10% can make your bars soft and sticky. So this is another thing that I love, that she gives these breakdowns. Like, she lets you know how much you can use. So it gives you kind of a guide on what to choose to put into your soap. I'm going to just randomly, for the purposes of this video, randomly choose 3 oils out of here excuse me, from this list, and then I'm going to make up a recipe using those 3 oils so you guys can kind of get a feel of what's going on. So over here I have my soap notes, my soap recipe notes. First things first, in the last video talking about measuring the volume of your soap mold, I figured out that the volume of my soap mold was 175 ounces, fluid ounces. So set in stone, my mold can hold 175 ounces. So that's my goal in the end. All right, so next I need to figure out my oils. So like I said, I'm just going to randomly, let me see. I'm looking for oil that you can use. Okay, so you can use olive oil up to 100% in a soap, which is great. So I do recommend kind of having something that you can use a high percentage of in your soap. But again, make sure you're doing your research. These are just my recommendations. So the first oil that I am going to put down is olive oil. I know I said random, but I'm being picky. Okay, I'm gonna do mango butter. You can use mango butter up to 15% in soap. So let's do mango butter, and then I'm just gonna put 15% so I can have a remembrance, a reminder of how much I can use. I can use 100% of that, 15% of that, and then let me see. Let me choose another one. Oh, let's choose coffee seed oil. Okay. Coffee seed oil, and I can use coffee seed oil up to 10%. Up to 10%. All right, so now I have how much my mold can hold. I have my oils that I'm going to use for my soap. Now the next thing that is needed is basically the knowledge that a soap recipe is 70% oil, 30% lye water solution. So your oils only make up 70% of your recipe. So you have to do a little bit of math. If you haven't already, make sure you do check out my video on how to use Brambleberries or the Soap Queen's lye calculator, because I do break down how to use that like step by step. I am going to use it today, but I'm not going to be very detailed. I'm just going to plug in. So if you want a detailed overview of how to use the lye calculator, then definitely go and check that video out. I will have that. It should pop up at the top of your screen, and I will also have that linked in the description box. Another thing I needed to talk about, so super fat. Super fat is basically the percentage of the percentage of oils that is left over in your soap after saponification. So if you did a super fat of 2%, 2% of oils will still be oil in your soap when it's done turning into soap, and that is what's left on the skin to give like that moisturizing property. So for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to randomly choose a super fat of like, I'm going to say 7%. And like I said, this is random. A lot of these things, all of these things that I'm choosing in here are random besides the size of the mold. Next, we need to figure out the math part of things. All right, so jumping into the math part, we're going to do 70% of 175 so that we can figure out how much oil we actually need for our recipe. So I'm going to pull up my little calculator. Hold on, where's the calculator? Okay, calculator. Jeez, why did it take so long to come up? Okay, 175 times 0.70, which is 70%, and that is 122.5. So 122.5 is the amount of oil needed for my recipe. So I can exit out of that. The other 30% comes from the lye water solution, and that's automatically calculated into your recipe when you plug it into the soap calculator, which is amazing. You don't have to do all of that crazy math. Now I need to figure out how much of these oils do I want to use in my recipe. So I can use olive oil at 100%. I can use mango butter at 15% and coffee seed oil at 10%. Do I want to use these all at their max? Which technically I can't use olive oil at its max if I'm using these other two. But do I want to use these two at their max is the question. Now what I can do is kind of read over the properties, which you can read over the properties here, and you can also go and look up the properties of the oils in soap. There's other research out there that has been done, I'm pretty sure. As I said, research. Always research. I'm never going to stop saying it. Always do your research. You can never go wrong with doing your research. But anyway, I think I'm not going to use these oils at their max to start off with. Because what if I don't like them at their max? You know, you always have to have some kind of a base. And so I don't want to go full throttle with these. Now, and I know because you can use olive oil at its max of 100%, I don't really mind the percentage of olive oil being high, but I don't want to chance it with making like a slimy soap or a soap that, you know, is not usable by using these other two at their max. So I think I'm going to use olive oil, or excuse me, I'm sorry, let me start down here with coffee seed oil. I think I'm going to use coffee seed oil at about, I'm going to use it at 5%. Mango butter, I'm thinking I'm going to do it at, let's say, 10%. And then that leaves 85% for the olive oil. And of course, your percentage of your oils have to come up to 100%. So I have the 85 plus the 5, that's 90, then the 10, that's 100. Make sure that your oils are equaling up to 100% when you're doing this. But when you go to plug it into the light calculator, it'll let you know if you're not at 100% anyway. So oh my goodness, so I just realized that this part of the video did not get recorded, so I am recording it again. So yeah, if my voice sounds a little different, that's because it is later in the day as I am trying to edit the video, and I just realized I missed a whole portion of video that, of information that wasn't recorded. Jeez Louise. But okay, so I have everything set back up. As you guys can see, we have all the things listed over here. Now I'm going to show you how to plug everything into the soap calculator. So we go over here, we have our type. So remember, check out that video that I have on how to use the Brambleberry soap calculator if you want in detail steps on how to use it. But all right, so I'm going to choose the type is solid. I'm going to choose percentage. And then when you choose percentage, you put in the weight of your oils. I'm just going to put in 122.5, or actually I'm going to put in 123. Now I know that ounces in weight and ounces in fluid ounces is different, but it's slightly different. Like when I say slightly, I mean slightly different. So it's honestly not even going to make that huge of a difference when it comes to this. So don't be confused by the fact that we have fluid ounces and then regular ounces in weight. It's perfectly fine. Okay. Now the super fatting level, we're gonna do 7%. Let's hit next. So right here, this is gonna let you know, as I was saying, make sure you guys have 100% for your oils. This is gonna let you know if you're at 100% or not. So I'm going to go down here to olive oil. I'm going to do 85. I'm going to find mango butter. And I'm going to do 10. And then I'm going to find coffee seed oil. Coffee seed oil. And that is 5. So if I go, what you mean 95, 96%? What you mean 101%? 85, 5. Oh, I put 11. I was about to say, what you mean? Okay. Okay. So now we are at a total of 100%. Finna yell at the computer, y'all. But I'm going to hit next. And bada boom, bada bang. Your recipe is literally done. It calculates the amount of lye and the liquid that you need. Remember, for the liquid, it can be water or it can be any other kind of liquid that you've done your research on that you can use in soap. Say for instance, I'm using coffee seed oil. I can use coffee instead of water to do this recipe. So it just tells you the amount of liquids that you need in your lye water solution. And then down here, I told them the weight of my oils or the amount of oils that I had. And so it broke it down into the percentages that I put in. And it gives me a total batch yield of 173.75 ounces, which is actually perfect. Because if you are making soap that has fragrance oil in it, you do have that extra room to add in that fragrance oil. So speaking of fragrance oil, I'm going to show you how to calculate your fragrance oil. So fragrance oil is, I believe the most popular way of calculating your fragrance oil is by using 0.8 ounces per pound of oil. So I'll show you how to calculate that now. So actually, let's put that down. 0.8. Well, let's put fragrance oil 0.8 ounces per pound of oil. we put 123 ounces in for our oil. So there are 16 ounces in a pound. We're going to use that to calculate how many pounds we have. Let me find the calculator. So if we take 123 divided by 16, that gives us 7.6875, which we can just round up to 8. So we're going to say that we have 8 pounds of oil. All right, so if we have 8 pounds of oil, we need to times that 8 pounds by 0.8 ounces. So let's do 8 times 0.8, and that gives us 6.4. So the amount of fragrance oil that we're going to use for this is 6.4. But make sure that you're checking out the IFRA sheet for every fragrance oil that you use, and make sure that you're using the correct amount. Like this 6.4 or whatever you come up with is not more than the allotted amount, like the max amount you're allotted to use for a wash off product. Definitely always check the IFRA document or sheet for every fragrance oil. You can find those documents on the website of the company that you bought your fragrance oil from. So yeah, make sure you're checking those, because if it has a max and the max is lower, like you come up with, let's say you can use 10 ounces for your, like you come up with 10 ounces of fragrance oil based off of this calculation, but then you look at the IFRA sheet and it says that the max is 8 ounces, you can only use 8 ounces. So keep that in mind, that even though you're coming up with it per pound here, you want to check that sheet to make sure you're not going over and then putting too much and then causing irritation to the skin. Now we officially have our full recipe. What you can do is you can print it off. So if you hit print, it'll take you to the screen where you can have it printed off. My thing is moving real slow today. Okay, it'll take you to the screen where you can print it off right here. But what I personally like to do is I go all the way up to here where it tells me what type of soap, like what I put in for the soap. It's a solid soap measured in percentage with a super fat of 7%. And I just highlight all of this information. I copy it and then I put it in a Word document, because I like to keep my recipes in paper. So I have them printed out, and then I also have a digital file of all of my recipes. So this will be saved into my digital file, and then I'll have a copy that I printed out that'll be saved into my paper file, and everything is all good. Now we have a complete recipe that we have made from scratch using the volume of our mold, and the next thing to do is to get the products and make the soap. All right, I know that was a lot of information that I just spewed to you guys, but I hope that it is informative. I hope that you are able to make the soap that you want. Remember my advice: always research the oils that you want to use, research all of the things, supplies and things that you're going to need. Research always and forever. I will say that. Do your research beforehand, and this video is a part of your research, so I am proud of you for coming here and researching. Thank you for watching this video. Again, I hope it was helpful for you. If it was, please give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the bell button so you know the next time I post a video. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye.